All right. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining. We're going to be respectful of everybody's time, and we're going to start right on time. Again, thank you all for joining and spending just 30, 40 minutes with us today to talk about innovative term life solutions and strategies at Assurity Life. We want you to sell the new type of term life insurance and not the old and the outdated type of term life insurance. I'm Nathan Driskill, Vice President of Individual Sales, and excited to be with you. I've also got on the WebEx and the Zoom call, Mike Feltman, one of our regional wholesalers for individual sales. And individual sales at Assurity Life is our independent distribution channel that serves the needs of distributors like yourself and agencies like yourself. So again, we're honored to be on the call with you. We're excited to talk about our StartSmart 3-in-1 insurance sales concept today. But before we do that, let's go through the agenda. I want to talk a little bit as we kick the call off about who Assurity Life is and how we want to partner with you. We believe in relationships first and really going deep and putting extra support and resource around you to earn your business. And we know you have a lot of choice and we have to earn it every single day. We're going to talk about some new market opportunities. I think sometimes we forget about millennials and Generation X type of clients. They're getting older, so their needs and their life events are changing. So we'll talk about some new market opportunities, and we'll really get in and spend a lot of the time today talking about StartSmart, where we focus on death protection through life insurance, critical illness, the living benefit protection through an innovative rider that doesn't discount the base face amount, and then also disability income, making sure we're protecting the client's income. Because if the worst happens, if you don't die, or even if you get sick, you need to be able to pay your bills and keep everything intact. And then we've got some great sales ideas and tools that we'll leave you with that you can take right after this call and start using them right away in the marketplace. So who are we? We're Assurity Life. We have a 132-year rich history. We're a mutual insurance company that's been helping people through difficult times for more than a century. We have an excellent rating, and we're also a certified B Corporation. And this is very unique. We actually were the first life insurance company to ever get the Certified B Corporation badge. And it's basically it's extensive process for us to go through. We renew it every 3 years. But really, at the end of the day, it's about putting people and the planet above profit. Doesn't mean we don't want to make a profit, but we really want to make sure we have a balance in the way that we're going to market, the way that we're serving our clients and our customers and our distribution partners, and doing business the right way. And that's really what being a certified B Corporation is all about. And that's also some other companies to compare. Patagonia is an example of a certified B Corporation, Bomba Socks. So why Assurity? I talked about mutual strength. A lot of volatility, a lot of disruption and change happening in the marketplace, especially with a lot of the stock companies. It's important to partner with the company that's focused on the customer, that's focused on you, the distribution partner. And having that strength of a mutual company, I think, is more important than ever before. Also working for good. Like I said, certified B Corporation, we believe in putting people and our planet above profit. And then we're also a mid-sized company that's focused on technology, whether that's API integration, whether that's our Quick Start platform, whether that's our automated underwriting process. We're focused on building technology and tools to help you be successful, to really help you deliver policies quickly, to make quick decisions so we can go reach and see more clients. And then above all, I think it's important to stress personalized service. So many companies today have farmed out their customer service departments, their new business departments to third-party companies, and that's not how you serve a client. So if you call in to Assurity Life, our headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska, you're going to get somebody in the home office, somebody that's going to take care of you or your client, to be able to answer questions on their policies, to be able to answer questions on a new business case. We believe in personalized service, and we deliver that to you. We understand that process is king, but service is queen. Now, as a channel, individual sales, it's important for us to have a mission and a goal as we serve our distribution partners like yourself. And one thing I set out as I joined Assurity last November was to really create our mission as an organization, as a sales organization. So our mission to you is we want to be the premier relationship partner for successful independent client-focused groups and their producers. We want to serve you, we want to earn your business, and we want to be premier at doing that. That's our mission as a sales organization. And our goal is not short term. We have a long-term view as far as how we partner with you, our distribution partner. We want to help you build long-term value in your agencies. And we want to motivate you, your agents, and your staff to attract new producers and clients to join your organization and grow. And so again, we're going to roll our sleeves up. We're going to get our hands dirty, and we're going to be a part of helping you grow and reach more clients, because we can't do what we do without you. That's our mission and goal, and that's our commitment to you. Real quick, before we get into StartSmart, innovative term solution that we're going to talk about today, I think it's important to talk about just real quick our broad portfolio that addresses middle market needs, middle income needs. We've got a really robust life offering. We've got term. We're one of just a few carriers that still offer ROP term. So if you're looking for that type of product, we have ROP term. We also have our StartSmart, which is a combination of term, critical illness protection, living benefit protection, and disability protection, all packaged together. We also have whole life, 10 pay, 20 pay, pay to 65, continuous pay. Great offering there. We're very competitive in that space. Single premium whole life and universal life, all with living benefits built into those products. Next, I want to just highlight our health products. We've got critical illness standalone. So if you want to sell a standalone critical illness policy, we can do that. We have income protection DI, which is short-term disability income. We have long-term disability income through our Century Plus, flagship product. We have graded benefit DI, business overhead expense DI, and we really have almost a guaranteed issue actionable death policy, which is great for clients that maybe can't get life coverage and still looking for some type of protection. And then we also offer deferred and immediate fixed annuities. So again, very high level overview. If you'd like to learn more about any of the products that are on the screen there, learn more about what we offer and how we serve the middle market, please reach out to your sales contact, and we'll list that at the end of this presentation. All right, so today we're going to talk about StartSmart, our 3-in-1 insurance solution. It's really about offering the new type of life insurance, different layers of protection to make sure clients have more than just kind of whatever the cheap flavor of term is out there today. So we're going to talk about a concept of basically taking our base term life insurance, and we're going to add living benefit protection with a critical illness rider and then a disability income protection rider. And so what that's going to do is that's going to allow the client to have, let's say, mortgage protection. If the worst happens and they pass away, they can basically pay off that house and make sure that their family is protected and they're going to have a place to live if the breadwinner passes away. But at the same time, we're also going to add a layer of critical illness protection. And we know you're more likely to have an event like a heart attack or stroke than you are to die. And so we've got a critical illness rider built in that's added to this policy that pays out a defined benefit. And there's a lot of living benefits out there today that are accelerated. And accelerated is great. And all that means is you're accelerating your face amount. Well, with our concept with StartSmart, you do not accelerate the base life insurance policy. This is a separate bucket of funds, a separate bucket of money that's used if you have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer. And that's a big difference, right? It's not a apples to apples comparison. You really are giving a client a defined option up front if they have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, and in any of the other qualifying events, that they know exactly what they're going to get just by triggering that event. And then last, we've got disability income protection. You can't keep your life policy or even the critical illness rider if you're sick without having some type of protection if you can't do your job. And that's where the disability rider protects the client's income and making sure that this plan stays intact if the worst happens. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mike Feltman, and he's going to take us through the StartSmart concept. Mike, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks for great tee up there, Nathan. Always appreciate that. And yes, we're going to start diving in here to the StartSmart concept itself. And where we're going to start with that is by identifying the new market opportunities that have basically been exposed over the last several years. So the new trends we've seen are definitely following COVID-19. We all lived through a worldwide pandemic, and it really hammered home the point to us in the actual field, as well as your everyday citizen clients, that these are important things to protect, and more importantly, anything can happen at any time. It really brought it to the forefront that none of us during our lifetimes expected to live through a pandemic, but you have to prepare against the unexpected. And that definitely pays to be prepared by ensuring lifestyles remain as unaffected as possible in cases of sickness or death. So it's led to people searching for insurance protection, doing their own education, and starting digging into the different options out there, particularly the millennial market. And there's a couple of reasons why millennials specifically have begun educating themselves and looking for these different solutions. Particularly, they're starting to enter their family stage of life. They're starting to take on a lot of debt, and it's starting to pile up pretty quickly, whether it's student loans that are still out there, or their first mortgage, or of course, their first child. So with all of that, they're starting to be a lot more conscious of what they need to protect, the different responsibilities and accountability they have in their life now. And that, combined with COVID-19, has kind of brought it to the forefront and made them more interested in seeking out that kind of protection. So with that all being said, our solution is called StartSmart. Nate already covered quite a bit of it and what we're trying to accomplish here, but more foundationally, we're just trying to offer a very simple, efficient product and process to the market. And what are we essentially doing? Well, we're offering an affordable 3-in-1 bundled plan that can help fill the gaps in protection plans for the markets. So let's talk about that terminology, bundling. That's entirely synonymous with efficiency and simplicity in the eyes of the market right now, because it's all with one carrier, it's all on one bill, and in most states, it's all on one application. So if that application is written and within the face amount and age limits, and it's submitted electronically, which I'll show you how to do later in a demo toward the end of the presentation, then it's going to be digitally underwritten, giving your client a possibility of a non-medical instant decision experience, and again, with a bundled plan that's efficient and simple. Talking specifically about that millennial market, we've seen the different reports and statistics on 51% of these individuals don't have any life insurance whatsoever, whether it's more of them working in a gig economy or simply employer benefits being reduced over time. There's a huge market to go out and start tapping into and talking to these individuals about getting coverage so that their family and themselves can maintain their lifestyles should anything happen to them. 78% of them prefer to have all insurance policies with one carrier, and that's precisely what we're offering here is, again, one carrier, one bill, and one application in most states where they're going to be able to keep this simple and efficient for themselves. So pivoting back to the StartSmart concept itself, the term life product is what we're building all of this on. The critical illness rider and the disability income protection rider are then added on to the term life. So this DI rider is offering a 2-year benefit period up to $3,000 monthly, and the critical illness rider is offering a nice coverage to cover that gap that a lot of folks are encountering with high deductible health plans through their employers. Healthcare costs are rising, and that's causing employers to turn to these high deductible health plans more often, and these have extremely high max out of pocket limits. So with those high max out of pocket limits, the individual employee client, they then need to cover that gap for any of these most costly of conditions, these critical illnesses like heart attack, stroke, and cancer. And as Nate covered earlier in the presentation, this critical illness rider is completely mutually exclusive from the death benefit. This is not an accelerated benefit. This is a defined separate benefit that you're able to draw from in cases of a covered critical illness like heart attack, stroke, cancer, or renal failure. And that's allowing you to provide your client a couple of different options should they run into these critical illnesses. It's meeting that gap of the max out of pocket. But you can also help with a little bit of immediate short-term income replacement by going above and beyond and making sure that critical illness benefit is providing them some of that coverage when they immediately get out of the hospital. A couple of other things that we've seen recently are that Inflation is magnifying the value and affordability of this bundled plan, and we'll show you some pricing here later on and some sales concepts examples. A different way to kind of look at the same info that we've been providing so far is breaking it down into the three facets. You've got the term life insurance, where you're providing a death benefit to maintain that lifestyle if the worst should happen. You've got a critical illness rider that you can choose a lump sum benefit, again, defined and completely separate from the death benefit itself. That's going to be between $20,000 and $100,000. Then finally, you have the disability income rider, which is going to allow you to apply for up to a $3,000 per month max monthly benefit on a 2-year benefit period with a 90-day elimination period. And what's so smart about StartSmart? Well, like we've said before, we're selling to the most active insurance buying generation in millennials. They are actively looking, and that is a rare occurrence in our industry, where products are sold, not bought. This gives you opportunity to meet these clients where they currently are, speak the language that they speak with bundling and efficiency, and it's going to be while their interest is high. It's offering protection to them while their income is low and their debt is high. Again, we covered these folks are bringing on a lot of debt and liabilities, whether it's their existing student loans, mortgages, and of course, building their families with their first children. We're offering real living benefits that matter. It's not just your basic term life insurance that is only going to pay out in the case of death. This is offering different benefits that they have ability to tap into while they're still alive, providing additional value. Going back to the simplicity and efficiency of the bundling, one application, one premium billing date, with 3 coverages across critical illness, term, and disability income, and then all bundled up through a streamlined quote to application tool, our Quick Start platform, which again, we'll cover here in moments. So just covering the overall broad product highlights of the term life specifically, we do go all the way down to $25,000. This opens us up to a bit of a larger market because a lot of competitors will limit themselves at $100,000. So it allows you to come in as an agent. And again, it's all about offering your clients options, giving them the flexibility to build a plan that they themselves actually value in keeping in force. So whether it is just a client conversation about going to a lower face amount, or maybe there's a client conversation where you're talking about the bundle and they're just not finding the value in one of the riders or another, then you don't necessarily need to do this all in one with all 3 of those coverages. It can be a 2-in-1 coverage. It can be a 2-in-1 coverage plus one of these child, spouse, return of premium riders. We're giving you the tools to go into a conversation with your client and be flexible, provide them options that they're ultimately going to value in their policy. Now let's talk a little bit more about the accelerated underwriting and instant decision process itself that we're trying to provide through these platforms. Again, as long as you're submitting this electronically, whether it's through iPipeline or the Quick Start quote to application platforms, we're going to be putting these through a digital underwriting process with possibility for a non-medical pathway if they're within these age and face amount limits. 1 million for ages 18 to 50 and 500,000 for ages 51 to 65. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. You get through the entire application, health questionnaire, DocuSign, and then you actually submit that. It's going to our digital underwriter. This digital underwriter is going to be pulling data points, building a risk classification score, and it's going to come back to you with a few outcomes. It could be approved as applied, approved other than applied, all the way up to our preferred plus best class, and all the way down to a table 4. That shows the sophistication and complexity of our digital underwriter, which allows us to have some of the highest pass-through instant decision rates in the industry as a carrier. Now, there is the possibility that that digital underwriter comes back and it's gathered enough what we might call red flags in the file that it needs to be pushed to a live underwriter at that point to be reviewed. And in that case, the live could come back and give you a non-medical decision. We just needed to verify a few things, some typos around maybe beneficiary info, addresses, social security numbers, or the live underwriter could come back and push it to full underwriting if there's enough in the medical history to warrant that. And ultimately, that's the entire process of the instant decision digital underwriting. We start in the digital underwriting, and then hopefully you get approved as applied. Premiums are based on age of last birthday, so this is an actual age product. And now let's talk a little bit about the convertibility to our full off-the-shelf flagship whole life and our universal life. These are the same products that you would be getting if you bought it outright as an individual product and not a conversion. We don't do any of the slimming down with convertible specific ULs or anything like that. These are the true whole life and universal life products that we offer. The universal life is excellent to bake in some guarantees while also having that upside of a current assumption. And then our whole life is just an excellent participating product that we've been offering and excelling in for years. These are annually renewable if you want to continue those annually increasing premiums after the level term period. But then let's also point out some of our other very attractive riders, particularly our return of premium rider that's available. We have some of the best pricing in the industry on it, and it's your tool to go into a conversation to overcome that objection of use it or lose it. This is giving, again, your client the options to find the value in their actual policy and benefits that are being provided. You want to place this, you want to make sure that your client is happy and comfortable with the coverage, because ultimately you want to keep it in force. We also have child and spouse riders if you'd like to make this more of a family plan. We see a lot of that these days as well to make things, again, simple, efficient, bundled together. That's going to bring us to our first sales idea that I'm going to share with you here today. It's going to start with a young millennial. Rachel's a recent college graduate who just turned 26. She's running her first apartment, paying bills solo, no longer qualifies under her parents' health insurance coverages, and has regular student loan repayments. So it's, again, one of those situations where the debt is outpacing the income currently. So there are things that she feels she needs to cover to have that peace of mind. So what are we doing here? We're providing a $250,000 20-year term policy, a $20,000 critical illness benefit rider to cover those most costly of critical conditions, and then finally giving her a $1,500 monthly disability income rider, which would be able to provide her maybe the rent money or the utilities and rent payment that she would need to maintain her lifestyle and not have her entire world shaken should any of these events occur. Now let's look at a little bit of an older individual. Andy's a graphic designer who just turned 30. He's starting to enter that family phase of his life. He's been married for a few years and they're expecting their first child. So he's completely entered the frame of mind of there is a lot of responsibility on my life and accountability to maintain our lifestyle through different protections should anything happen. So what are we providing Andy? We are now looking at a $250,000 30-year term because he wants to make sure that mortgage is covered, maintain the household and the lifestyle for the family if the worst should happen, a $20,000 critical illness benefit rider, and a $1,500 monthly DI rider, all coming in for under $50 a month. That's a lot of peace of mind that you're providing a client just under $50 per month. Very affordable options. Finally, let's look just a little bit older at an established family millennial. Kyle's a 37-year-old sales manager. He's now married with 2 children and wants to make sure expenses are met if he couldn't work or if there were any sort of large monthly costs that would come from a critical illness or a disability. Well, here we are offering, again, an affordable solution, $250,000 20-year term life insurance, $20,000 critical illness, $1,500 monthly DI rider, all for $56.55 per month. That's a very easy conversation to have with your client to show them this is the cost, these are the different benefits that we're giving you, How do you value each of these different options and the peace of mind that we're giving you? And you're going to get a lot of positive response from your clients when they recognize, wow, this is covering a lot of bases for what's less than ultimately my cell phone bill. And now we want to give you the tools to help you sell. We've talked about what it is you're going to be talking to your clients about, how it is everything comes together with the different bundling, but now we're going to show you how to actually run the business and place the business. There's consumer brochures that you can offer that are specific to StartSmart. We've got obviously our term brochures, our different life insurance product brochures, health insurance product brochures, but this one hones in on the StartSmart concept itself and puts the language and the visualization out there for the client to take a look at and bring it home for them as far as maintaining that frame of mind of what we're offering and the value that is being offered through this StartSmart program. We have consumer videos out there for you to access. These are quick 90-second blurbs and videos that are going to allow you to send these out to your clients, get the conversation started, drum up the interest, and then you can follow up with them and say, hey, did you see that video that I sent you the other day? I wanted to talk to you about how this concept can essentially place peace of mind for you on several different pieces of coverage at once, keeping it simple, bundled, all in one bill. We've got the sales ideas and flyers for you agents to share with your colleagues, basically mimicking the different slides that I just showed you. And then obviously the product highlights to help you as well. Keep it on your desktop so you can quickly reference, okay, here are the limits that I need to keep in mind for non-medical ages and those sorts of things. We also have a breakout site specific to StartSmart that is going to hold different things like those tools that I just mentioned, those brochures, those different product highlight sheets, some of the videos as well. So I highly recommend that you all run after this call to this site to start browsing and digging in a little bit quicker, because it is always said that if you don't do it the same day after, then you're not really going to build it into your routine. It's not going to become a habit. So let's start making that a habit today. And now I'm going to go ahead and pivot over to sharing some of our sites and screens to help with giving you an idea of how this business can be placed. So here is that StartSmart breakout site that I just mentioned. You can see here that where you can get the tools. You can see an example of one of our past webinars on this particular concept. And it's also a good point to point out, we do have an extensive YouTube library. Please go out there, please subscribe. You're going to see things like the webinar that we're doing today, some much shorter 5 to 10 minute videos covering new strategies. And then of course, those 90-second videos that you can begin sending out to clients to drum up that interest and start your conversations. Here are those tools that I mentioned early, the highlight sheet, those sales ideas flyers, a wholesaler's guide, which I believe is somewhere between 15 and 20 pages of a lot of the same statistics that I provided today, a lot of the same sales ideas that were provided today, but it's also going to give you common client objections and the ways that you should respond to them. Common questions that you should be asking the clients to, again, start those conversations and get them in the right frame of mind. You'll see a social media kit here, which is also going to provide dozens of different paragraphs and different hero images and stock photos that you can utilize, take straight from us and begin copy and pasting into your own social media to promote and, again, drum up that interest. But then you'll also see this quote to application tool here, which is going to take you right into that StartSmart quick start platform to begin quoting and applying. So this is where that's going to redirect you. And you can see here, it's going to, on the first page, give you kind of an outline of the process where you can get a quote, send the quote to the client, and complete the app all in one streamlined pathway. You can get a quick copy of the PDF highlight sheet for reminder on different limits of age and face amount for the accelerated non-medical pathway. And then it just, again, kind of goes over how this platform is going to be beneficial for you and your clients. We're harping once again on the improved productivity. Let's increase that rate per hour that you're earning, or how I like to look at it, the hourly wage. Are you personally spending a ton of time on applications or case management, these not proactively selling activities? Well, these platforms and these pathways to get non-medical decisions made, these are going to improve your productivity and hopefully raise your hourly rate that you earn through your day-to-day business. Finally, a little bit about us as Assurity Life, and then our contact information down at the bottom if you should need any assistance. So scrolling back up here to the top, we'll begin a demonstration of how to run a quote and how this feeds into an application. Starting with the state, click Get a Quote. I'm going to make this a 34-year-old male, non-tobacco. We like to set an expectation that we can hopefully beat by starting with a preferred underwriting class in the quote. And then this page is going to bring up some recommended options. This is essentially walking your client up to the door, allowing them to analyze some things about the differences between the options, and then they'll hopefully walk through it themselves once they do that gauging of benefit to value. I like to start with this middle one because it's a nice sweet spot of offering $250,000, typically taking care of any mortgage concerns. We're on a 20-year coverage period, 20,000 critical illness, 2,500 DI rider. It's going to do a couple of initial qualification questions for that DI rider, making sure that they do meet the full-time qualification and putting on any limitations that would come from being self-employed or working for the railroad or being a state or federal government employee. So we'll just go ahead and click no for those. However, this is a good place to show you the reflexive questioning inherent in the platform. So if I were a government employee, it would then know to ask me what type of government employee, because there are different limits for both federal and state, and it's smart enough to bake those in to the quotation. So now we've come to the actual customization of the quote, where you can dial things in, make changes to meet your client's actual needs. So we're starting out at this 250,000. Well, let's say that he's actually got 300,000 left on his mortgage with that roughly 15 to 20 years on that mortgage term. You can see that this immediately updated. I think it added roughly $3, going from $63 to $66 per month. And it will continue to do all that as you update the coverage period. It'll update the premium. All of that can be easily dialed in to what your client is looking for in a policy. Then you have a couple of different options as an agent. You can either send this quote, which will allow you to enter in the email address of the prospect that you're trying to send this to. It'll also ask you for your contact info so that they know who to reach back out to if they want to move forward. Or if you're sitting there with the client on the phone, however you'd like to proceed, you can jump right into the application. This will then ask a few very high-level pre-qualification health questions. We're talking about very recent cancer history, mental nervous, cardiovascular, 2 of 6 ADLs, and then narcotic prescription, anything of that nature, drug abuse. Furthermore, we're going to be asking about citizenship and active duty or plans to be active duty. And where you'll see with the citizenship, it doesn't necessarily need to be a citizen. We will accept permanent resident status in the United States through green card holders and the like. And then the active duty questions would need to be answered no. With all that being answered, you should hopefully get this particular message. Congratulations, you're now ready to move forward with the actual application. And from there, it's actually now going to ask you as the agent to sign in with your AssureLink username and password. If this page does not look familiar to you, you likely don't have your user name and password for AssureLink set up yet. So please reach out to your regional wholesaler to get that set up, walk through the instructions to make sure you've got the tools that you need to write the business. After you've logged in with your username and password, it'll redirect you right into the Quick Start site for the application itself, collecting the contact info, beneficiary info, the health questionnaire itself, obviously. And then once all of that is completed, it'll also ask for the payment info, at which point it'll be sent to the client to DocuSign, click to sign, and then it'll be emailed back to you as the agent to then click to sign, where you'll then submit it. Once submitted, our digital underwriter will do its process that I spoke through earlier, where it's going to be gathering those data points, building that risk classification score, and hopefully within roughly 15 to 30 minutes coming back to you with that instant decision and hopefully the approval, indicating to you that the delivery requirements are going to be emailed out to you and the client, where you can then complete those delivery requirements, send it back to us, and we'll very quickly issue that policy, all in a very, very efficient, quick process, where we're then taking payment within roughly 48 hours after the fact. That is about as quick as we can possibly make it. So I hope that's going to be the efficient process that you and your clients are looking for. However, we do know that a lot of our partners do their business in a couple of different formats or pathways that are a little more traditional. So we like to make those pathways available for this non-medical process as well. This is a SureLink that I mentioned earlier. If you do not recognize this, please connect with your regional wholesaler and we'll be able to help you get an account created and logged on here. But this is where you'll be able to access through our quick links up in the top right-hand corner, our electronic application, which will direct you immediately into iPipeline, where we know a lot of you produce and do business. It's going to be a very similar process as you're probably familiar with, starting a new case or viewing cases that you've already started. You can also utilize our carrier-specific illustration software, where all of our products are available to be illustrated. Or, of course, we are available on WinFlex as well. With these products specifically, we are going to be adding Universal Life very soon here, so keep this in mind. If you do need WinFlex access, again, please reach out to your regional wholesaling team. We know how to take care of you there, and we'll get you set up with the access that you need to run and produce that business. So now I'm just going to switch back over really quickly to our PowerPoint for a few additional pieces of info that are going to be important for you. First and foremost, this is the web address for a SureLink, where you're going to be able to go on and create that user account. Now, I do need to point out that you do need to be contracted with us and have an agent ID, that 4-digit number, in order to actually create that account. So again, if you need any help, please reach out to your regional sales team, which all of our contact info is available right here on this page. I highly recommend you screen grab or take a photo with your cell phone and keep this nearby so you always know your point of contact going forward if you need any help at all. Pre-sale, post-sale, in the middle of sale, we want to be your points of contacts here at Assurity to help you with everything you need, because it's all about making you comfortable and familiar working with us. And once you are, that's where the relationship really takes off and the partnership really begins to bloom. So please feel free to reach out anytime to any one of us. And with that, it brings us to our questions. So just in the essence of trying to keep things organized here, if anyone could drop their questions into the chat function, we'll begin to answer them from there.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And I've been trying to answer the questions in the chat. So I think we've gotten to most of them. Let me just look at a couple that maybe have not been answered yet. Self-employed individuals are a knockout. The answer is no. Self-employed individuals can qualify for this, so it's not a knockout. Is this available in Pennsylvania? Mike, can you look that one up real quick? I think yes, but let's double check. And look, if for some reason a state's not available, you can absolutely still bundle the base term with the standalone critical illness product And so you can still do the concept, the StartSmart, so you can add the CI and then the disability income rider as well. It's just not bundled and packaged through the StartSmart platform. We are working on making sure we're trying to get all the states approved where we can. But if for some reason the state is not approved, just remember, you can still do the concept. You can do a combination. You could do term and critical illness. You could do term and DI. So again, you can still do a StartSmart plan. You would just have to do it outside of the rider option.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So speaking specifically to Pennsylvania, yes, the term-based term policy is available and the monthly DI rider are available. However, the critical illness rider is not available in Pennsylvania. So like Nathan is saying, you have a few other options to take to still offer a valuable plan.
Yep, so you would basically add the DI rider, and then you would basically also position and do a combo with the critical illness product that we have approved in Pennsylvania, the standalone. Can you add ROP? Yes, you can add ROP. I know we talked about that. So again, if you're gonna add ROP, there's a couple different, you've got the quick start link you can quote, or you can go into WinFlex Web and you can run it very easily there. Good question. New York, so we have our health products, we have some approved in New York, so we are in New York. We do have health products. We do not have our life products there. So if you're looking for critical illness, if you're looking for a health product to offer your clients, we definitely have some solutions for you there. That's a good question there. Self-employed, we already answered that. Does the StartSmart premium increase every year for the term period? The answer is no, it's locked in. So if you buy a 20-year duration or buy a 30-year plan, it's locked in for the entire term period. So it does not increase. Great question there. Are we able to contract directly with the surety, or do we need to go through an IMO? Definitely, we encourage you to work with relationships that maybe are already contracted with us. We also offer direct contracts as well. It's a good question. Again, reach out to your sales team for more information on that. Again, we'd love to talk to you if you'd like to join and get contracted with us. North Carolina, Mike, can you just double check North Carolina?
So North Carolina's completely open. They're willing and able to do any of the term, monthly DI rider, or critical illness rider. We have all approved them.
So StartSmart's approved in North Carolina. Question about I-10. So we are actually getting very close to having a foreign national underwriting program at a surety. And so in the very near future, we will be able to consider I-10 SSN clients. So stay tuned on that, more to come. And we're excited about that. Let's see, is there an additional critical illness rider that provides up to, if you'd like to just sell critical illness, we absolutely have one of the most competitive critical illness products in the market. So if you're just looking for more standalone critical illness, you can go up to 500,000 in total. So it's a great option for business owners, for people just wanting maybe to supplement additional critical illness protection. Maybe they already have life insurance, maybe they already have a great base plan and you've worked with them on that, and then you just want to add critical illness, you can absolutely do that. Good question. How can we see which states are available? If you go to the link that Mike provided on StartSmart, you can see when you get in there and start running the numbers very quickly. Think of that as our quick quote website. If the riders are not available in the dropdown, that means it's not approved in that state.
Also, Nathan, the highlight sheet's available on that StartSmart breakout site, and that would include the availability per state.
Perfect. Great answer. If a person wants to convert their term in the future, what happens? So the riders follow. That's a great question. The riders carry into the permanent plan. So whatever you buy on the term, it will carry into the permanent whole life or UL contract that you convert the clients into. And we want you to do that. We want to make sure you're taking care of clients' needs today, but then converting them to permanent coverage at a later date as part of the overall strategy. So you have the full offering as far as our permanent products, whole life and universal life. All right, well, that's all the questions. I think we answered all of them or almost all of them. If you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach back out. Mike, go back to that contact page one more time. If you have any questions, please call us at 1-800-276-7619. We've got a great sales team that's ready to take your call. We're here to support you. We're here to help you grow your business like we talked about earlier. We just want to say thank you for the time. Thank you for your partnership and your commitment to a Surety Life. Everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you on the next national webinar. Thank you so much.